Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551. And for those who may not be familiar, last week I did a live stream of Super Mario Bros. 3, though. I was doing pretty much in honor as we get close to the upcoming Mario movie and everything like that. I'm going to have a recorded video of me doing that live stream, probably up on Saturday for those who may have missed it or anything like that, or you did have time to watch the live stream or anything like that, though. And I'm probably, pending nothing happens tomorrow on Saturday, though, or I mean on Saturday to be exact, though, I'm hoping to finish up my live stream of Super Mario Bros. 3 and everything like that. I might do Super Mario World, though, if I could try to fit it in my schedule between, you know, work, family, and so forth, and all that stuff. But hopefully you guys, assuming nothing comes up, though, hopefully you guys will be able to stick around to watch the conclusion, at least, of Super Mario Bros. 3, hopefully on Saturday, though. Again, if something emerges or something comes up, I'll put out like a tweet or something like that, or post it on social media or on the post on YouTube, just to let you guys know in case if there's a change or not, though. But anyway, we got 4 stories to cover for this week, including some interesting tidbits coming about in regards of Redfall, including ranging from what engines it's using to the fact that a PS5 version may have been in the works, to even them rethinking the always online part, at least in terms of the single player side of things. Though we are also hold on one second, something just kind of popped up. All right, there we go. We are also going to be looking at a new Switch 2 rumor that has kind of popped up a little bit, though. We're also going to be talking about Platinum's discussion about the future of the Bayonetta series, and finally some racing games, including one that got officially confirmed this week, though, and another one that is rumored to be possibly in development for the Nintendo Switch. If you're interested in where I got the source of these information, though, links will be in the description of this video, so me watching this on YouTube. But before we get started, I like to do what I like to call the quick my 2 cents. Stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of details, though. The first one has to do with the fact that it's reported that the developers of Apex Legends, Respawn Studio, is basically opening up a 3rd studio to work on Apex Legends, and they're thinking about that this game could exist for like 10 to 15 years. Personally, I've heard developers have said this before many times, especially with live services games, and that doesn't always pan out as well. So far, it doesn't seem that Apex Legends has fallen into those kind of traps, at least at this time, though. But time will ultimately tell if something like Apex Legends will last 10 to 15 years, as the developers like to claim, though. We also learned that there are reports coming out that seems to be that this multiplayer Witcher game called Series apparently is going back to the drawing board, as it doesn't look like the game will be coming out anytime soon or anything like that, though. So we'll see if this does see the light of day or not, though. It's possible CD Projekt maybe had doubts or second thoughts about this, maybe the possibility of this multiplayer Witcher game or whatever Project Series was going to be going to come out, though. But time will tell if we'll ever see that again, though. We also learned that apparently there is a rumor going around that Vicursive Vision was supposedly working on a Donkey Kong game, a possibility of a 3D Donkey Kong game at the time, and the story seems to go that Shigeru Miyamoto looked at it and thought it was very impressive, but supposedly the project got shelved, maybe because after how Super Mario Odyssey went or anything like that. It is sort of a rumor at this time. There's nothing officially confirmed or anything like that. I will say that I would be down with a 3D Donkey Kong game if they ever get around to it. I know some people have mixed feelings about Donkey Kong 64 and all, but I think excuse me, I think a 3D Donkey Kong game could work if it is done correctly, though. However, like either Retro or any other studio like working on it, though, I think that they could pull it off. I think it's high time for Donkey Kong to go into get another shot at 3D. I mean, if Zelda can make its way into 3D, if Kirby can do an actually good 3D game, Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and Mario, of course, can do 2D and 3D games, I can't see how you couldn't do basically a a 3D Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Country game, to be exact though. We also learned, and this is sort of, I have to give credit to Capcom on this one though, is that apparently they have done basically animations of basically the upcoming, the Resident Evil 4 remake, which is out right now though, and let's just say the animation style kind of looks like if you played, Level 5's Neo Nui Cookie, apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly, to even if you see movies like Princess Mononoke, again, apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly, or Howl's Moving Castle or anything like that. It's bizarre and weird, and yet there's some sort of charm on it. I look at it, it's sort of like if Resident Evil 4 was an E-rated game or something like that. It's a bizarre idea that they're doing, but I gotta give Capcom credit for doing this though. Right now, I think there are 3 episodes that they've done so far at this time, though. But if you ever get a chance, check it out. Type it in, animated Resident Evil 4 or something like that. I think it could be on Capcom's Asia's YouTube page. But it's silly, it's stupid, but it's also, I gotta give credit to Capcom for advertising it, though. Try to be on the lookout for. I think there are ones with English subtitles, though, so it's worth taking a look at, though. And last but not least, on the video game side, is that we've learned that Atari has acquired Night Dive Studios. For those who are not familiar, though, Night Dive Studios is known for doing several retro or remakes of certain, or remasters of certain games. To be exact, though, they are responsible for the remaster of Turok Dinosaur Hunter and Turok 2 Seed of Evil. They did the Shadowman remaster, though, so they have been known to do sort of remastering very old games and everything like that. And they have now been acquired by Atari, though. It will be very interesting to see what Night Dive Studio does and whether they remaster any of Atari's old libraries of games and all. So be kind of interesting, though. As far as how much they purchased them, though, the reports seem to indicate that Atari purchased them for $10 million and everything like that. And finally, in the movie and TV part of the My Two Cent, though, we are learning that there are supposedly reports coming out, at least from this one from the Hollywood Reporter, seem to indicate that Zachary Levi, if I'm saying the name correctly, who played Shazam, is sort of blaming Dwayne Johnson's the post-credit scene. It seems to be, the reports seem to indicate that Black Adam was supposed to make an appearance in the Shazam sequel that has just came out in theaters, though, but it doesn't seem like that has happened or anything like that. No reason why that is the case or anything like that, but it is worth pointing out that Black Adam did not perform well at the box office, and reports are also coming out that the new Shazam movie has also not did very well at the box office either, though. We also learned that apparently there are works in the works to the sequel to The Gladiator, a movie from the year from when it was released back in 2000, though, to the fact that Spartacus could get somewhat of a reboot in a way. This was, I believe, on a show on HBO Max, though, as this one seems to be sort of taking place years after the events of the first Spartacus show, though. So some shows are basically making a comeback and everything like that, or getting another chance and all. We also learned that basically John Wick Chapter 4 that has came out, according to Deadline, seems to have managed to open box office wise at $115 million, though. Obviously, there's still an audience for the John Wick franchise in general, though. Sadly, however, one of the actors who starred in the movie sadly passed away, by the name of Lance Reddick, though. He unfortunately passed away at the age of 60, though. They're saying right now the death is of natural causes, though. Very unfortunate for this actor to pass away. He has starred in several TV shows. He did voice acting for several cartoons. He also played several characters in the Horizon series, to even the Destiny games as well. So unfortunately, he has passed away at the age of 60, though, and my heart goes out to his friends and families out there, and to those who enjoyed the work that he did and everything like that. And last but not least, we have a report from the Direct that seems to indicate that we might see different skin colors for the upcoming Avatar 3. It is believed to be that the third one could focus on, say, like, the avatars in some sort of like a fire world type of thing on Pandora, possibly, though. We'll still have to wait to see how long we'll have to wait for Avatar 3, though. I did enjoy Avatar Way of the Waters, though. Maybe not as strong as the first movie was, but still good. Nevertheless, though, to be exact, though. So I'm very curious to see how Avatar 3 will play out and all. Okay, with the quick My 2 cent part now done, we'll get started with our first story. And this one has to do with racing games in general, particularly two that kind of popped up, or at least reports started to pop up this week, though. We'll start off with the first racing game, and this one had to do with what started out as sort of rumors and a leak has now officially been revealed, though, and that had to do with the report that Lego 2K Drive was officially announced by 2K and being developed by Visual Concept, though. And this game supposedly will be coming out in May, if I'm saying this correctly, though, and apparently will be coming to multiple systems: Xbox Series X and S, PS5, Nintendo Switch, though, and I believe PC as well, though. From an article posted on by Video Game Chronicles, it reads that, quote, and also last gen as well, Lego and 2K has officially announced their new driving game, Lego 2K Drive, which will release on May 19th. The title is coming to the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam and the Epic Game Store. Described as an open-world game with single and multiplayer that lets players build any vehicle they like. As first revealed by VGC last year, the game is developed by WWE 2K and NBA 2K Visual Concept, and as part of a new line of LEGO sports game 2K has in the works. According to 2K's announcement, LEGO's 2K Drive will feature a wide open world with different biomes, racing, minigames, challenges, and collectibles, though. Players can build a vehicle with over 1,000 unique LEGO pieces, or choose a ready-made one from LEGO Cities creators, Speed Champions, and more. Finally, 2K Drive will feature a competitive multiplayer and a co-op experience. Two-player split screens will be available alongside online multiplayer. With the history of the LEGO brand hold, we were very consistent of the responsibility we have to both our partners and longtime fans of LEGO Play, while still thinking about how we can bring something new and unique to a LEGO title, says Greg Thomas, president of Visual Concepts. For LEGO's 2K Drive, we assemble a best-in-class team of game makers who pour their hearts into an unforgettable experience we can't wait to share with fans. So, based on the launch trailer that they showed on this, or at least one of the reveal trailers to be exact, though, I will say it looks actually kind of neat and impressive, and I'm very curious to see how this game looks and plays. Not to mention, I'm also kind of curious if this title will make its way to Game Pass or not, or anything like that, though. There are two questions I have about in regards of this LEGO 2K Drive, though. The first one has to do with, since we know the title's coming to the Nintendo Switch, which, don't get me wrong, I think that's really great and everything like that, I am curious to see how's this game going to run and look on the Nintendo Switch. That's kind of how I'm seeing this, though, especially with some of these multi-platform titles, especially when sometimes when it comes to the Switch, developers sometimes won't show the Switch version, to be exact, and when that happens, I do feel that kind of raises some red flags about is the Switch version as bad as the developers are not making it sound like it be. So we'll have to wait and see, though, but I am very curious to see how this game is going to run on the Nintendo Switch. The next thing, though, and this kind of worries me a little bit, though, is about, DLCs or any kind of predatory practices like microtransactions or anything like that. Basically, 2K is no stranger to this, and they have been criticized before. There have been allegations about how NBA 2K has had sort of like a slot machine-like stuff, with microtransactions and loot boxes, and I'm kind of concerned about that, though. Granted, nothing has been reported at this time, so it's way too early to make any concerns, or way too early to tell, to be exact, though. But it does worry me, since this is from 2K, though, and we've seen how some developers have kind of pushed those predatory practices, not to mention reports of how some kids have spent a boatload of money in terms of basically, items and everything like that. So part of me is kind of excited for this trailer, or this game to be exact, but part of me is also somewhat concerned considering some of 2K's history. While 2K can produce and make great games, though, we've seen how the developers have also gotten a little bit somewhat greedy when it comes to microtransactions, though. As far as the second racing game goes, it seems that there are reports coming out the possibility that a remastered version of F-Zero GX that originally came out back in 2003 for the Nintendo GameCube could be in the works, and supposedly Next Level game has come out. Now, the source of this came from the YouTube channel Nintendo Prime, though. But here's an article from DualShocker, and this is what they had to say, though. I had to say, excuse me a second. Here it is. Okay. Sorry. All right, let's go right here. All right. Following the surprise remaster of Metroid Prime last month, rumors are circulating online that F-Zero, the classic future racing game that started back in the early days of the the SNES, will be making a return as well. At the heart of this rumor is YouTube Twitter account holder Nintendo Prime, who made the announcement Friday last night that Next Level Games was working on the project, a remaster of F-Zero GX, which originally released on the Nintendo GameCube in 2003. Nintendo Prime will not delve on his source, but he claims he has discovered, come across, and come into contact with people who have told him the game is in development, though. A subsidiary of Nintendo's company, neither Next Level Game nor its partner company has issued a statement regarding the legitimacy of this claim. Founded in 2002, Next Level Games has a long history of working with Nintendo's high-profile IPs, even prior to its acquisition, having developed games such as Super Mario Striker, Punch-Out!, and Luigi's Mansion 3. Nintendo Prime has reported rumors of an F-Zero revival before, but he emphasized that the source that provided that information previously were other people than the ones who have told him about the project alleged development. We've been waiting for an F-Zero on Switch for so long in this format. Improved visuals, probably online play as well, he said during his announcement, though. According to information leaked on Friday, Next Level has two different teams working on two entirely different games. Nintendo Prime did not specifically say both games were F-Zero games, but he implied they're based on context. The rumor has generated buzz online, but Nintendo Prime clarified Saturday via his Twitter account that he has no additional information to share at this time. He wrote this on March 18th, though, on Twitter, saying, Thanks for the new follow today. I don't know anything about F-Zero, folks, other than that it's happening / exists, and that the NLG stuff I heard yesterday. That's it, but like many, I want to see F-Zero come back badly. Even if this rumor of an F-Zero remastered don't turn out to be true, at least one fan is hoping support from the gaming community will spur developers to make it happen. We leaked the Metroid Prime remaster into existence. We could do it with F-Zero. Reply user Legend of Zoe, Trans of the Wild to the original post. Now, obviously, as of right now, neither Next Level Games or Nintendo has not said anything at this time. And again, like any rumor, this should be taken with a grain of salt. That being said, though, seen some games have seen some revival and have found success on the Nintendo Switch, though. I mean, Luigi Mansion has done very well. Luigi Mansion 3, to be exact, though. I think the latest Mario Striker game has done well, despite some mixed response. To be exact, though, we're even hearing rumors about the possibility that Kid Icarus Uprising could make its way over to the Nintendo Switch, though. I think that there is a possibility that F-Zero GX could make its way over. I mean, assuming the Metroid Prime Remaster does well in sales, I think there are good indication it probably is, though. I wouldn't be surprised if an F-Zero is they're thinking about possibly bringing F-Zero to the Nintendo Switch. Granted, we don't know at this time, so it's too early to tell though, but I'm leaning towards the possibility that this rumor could be true. I'm not sure if Next Level is the one going to do it though, but it wouldn't surprise me if some sort of announcement of an F-Zero makes its way over to the Switch though. I mean, games like New Super Mario Bros. U have made their way to the Switch. Skyward Sword has made its way to the Switch though, so it wouldn't surprise me that something like F-Zero, whether it's the 2003 one or a brand new entry, makes its way to the Nintendo Switch. Again, it is a rumor, so time will ultimately tell if that does happen though, but I think that there's a very good chance that an F-Zero game could make its way over to the Nintendo Switch though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2, and this one has to do with comments Platinum has said in returns of the future of the Bayonetta series. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the Bayonetta series' future, though. Now, as some of you are aware, though, the Bayonetta, though at least the first Bayonetta 3 pretty much wrapped up what started with Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2, and recently we just had Bayonetta Origins, though. I think Sharessa and the Lost Demon. Apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly, though. And it's very interesting to see how this series has sort of got it when the first game came out, though, how it didn't meet at least Sega's expectations or anything like that to a sequel happening thanks to Nintendo that was willing to 100% fully fund this game in exchange to make it an exclusive on their platform. A policy in terms of regarding exclusivity goes, I definitely support and would be willing to get behind it though. But now with both Bayonetta games, last year Bayonetta 3 and this year being Bayonetta's Origins out though, the question remains about what is the future for the series, especially considering the ending to Bayonetta 3, which many kind of consider controversial, depending on your perspective and view on that. Well, it seems as though, at least according to Platinum and one of the producers who works with Nintendo that brought the games over to the Nintendo platform, though, it seems that this probably isn't going to be the end of the series or anything like that. In an article from Video Game Chronicles, it reads that, quote, Bayonetta series creator Hideki Kamiya has revealed developer Platinum Games intend to expand the franchise beyond the recent release spin-off Bayonetta Origins. Speaking to Famitsu, translated by Video Game Chronicles, Kamiya said Platinum has been discussing its plans for the series internally, but that they haven't been formally approved by publisher Nintendo. We would like to expand the world of the series with a new collections of games, he said. We are currently working towards that, and Bayonetta Origins director Tiana-san, I apologize if I'm not saying this name correctly though, and I have been discussing what we would like to do next. We haven't spoken with Nintendo about it yet though. One of the producers of the Bayonetta series on the Nintendo side added, we currently have nothing concrete to share with you about the future of the series yet, but I personally do not believe this is the end of Bayonetta though. I would first like to hear the thoughts and opinions of players who have played the game and then consider the future of the series though. While Sega owns the Bayonetta IP, the series' last 3 games have been published by Nintendo in a licensing agreement exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. Considering how, in a way, you kind of can look at it as the series was saved by Nintendo, allowing Bayonetta 2 to happen and everything like that, personally, I would definitely love to see this series continue and all, especially considering that I consider Bayonetta more like Platinum and Sega and maybe Nintendo to a certain degree, their Devil May Cry, while I think Bayonetta Origin is more like Platinum's Okami in a certain degree though, and I certainly would like to see the series continues on. Now, excuse me, if Bayonetta 4 were to happen, though, it would be interesting how that's going to play out, especially considering how the ending is. And maybe Viola takes, and spoiler alert for who may have not beat Bayonetta 3, maybe Viola takes Bayonetta's place or anything like that. Maybe we'll see a continuation of Bayonetta Origins, and maybe takes a much more different approach and continues with, like the prequel or the spin-off, to be exact. So there are ways they could continue the series, though. I personally think that there's a good chance that Nintendo will probably continue help Platinum and all, and probably continue with the Bayonetta series, considering the positive response the series has gotten, minus the ending to Bayonetta 3 and the mixed response that some folks have had about that one. But I think that there's a good chance that Bayonetta 4 will probably happen, though. I'm thinking most likely it will be on, if a Bayonetta 4 does happen, I think it will most likely be on a Switch successor, though, to be exact, though. But time will ultimately tell whether that happens or not, though. But overall, I would say I think Bayonetta's future now is different than when it was when the first game came out and there was uncertainty about the future or anything like that. So I think that the future is still good, though. It's going to be very interesting whether they continue the style that Bayonetta 3 had, or if they decide to take the approach what Bayonetta Origins is doing, or if they come up with something completely new for the franchise and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with the latest rumors surrounding the Switch successor or the Switch 2. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at another Switch 2 rumor going around. This one has to do with basically what apparently could be powering the Switch successor or the Switch 2. Now, the Nintendo Switch is entering its 6th year, though. Pretty long for a system like that, to be exact, though, and many feel that this could be the last year for the Nintendo Switch. Whether that's 100% true or not, that remains to be seen, though. But like every year, though, since the Switch came out in 2017, this hasn't stopped speculations on rumors about the Switch successor or the Switch Pro and all that stuff, though. To some of the rumors turning out to be true or not, such as basically the Switch Lite happening. And while the Switch OLED did exist, and that turned out to be true, the so-called 4K or Switch Pro obviously never happened. Well, now a new report's coming out that seems to lead to, at least before this person retracted some of it, that seemed to indicate what could be powering the Switch successor or the Switch 2 and all. Some of the article comes from Nintendo Life, and it says here, quote, excuse me, over the past few days, rumors of the Switch successor's SoC, system on chip, has been surfacing online, which has gotten people speculating once again which chip the upcoming console might use. Initially, Aulx DA, known for accuracy leaking smartphones related tech, claimed that the Switch successor will use a NVIDIA Tegra chip for the next console that's manufactured from 5LPP. They mentioned notebook check, though. 5LPP is a 5 nanometer process developed by Samsung and stands for 5nm Low Power Plus. If you're not up on your microchip lingo, Previously, the Tegra 239 has been the popular rumor, with a NVIDIA employee confirming its existence last year. However, Aulx later backtracked on this info, saying that the chip has been dropped a few days or months ago, following NVIDIA's change from Atlanta to Thorn after the former was canceled. NVIDIA is targeting a 2025 debut for that automotive-focused chips. Many rumors and our predictions believe this new Switch will be out either in late 2023 or sometime in 2024. In case you're wondering, this is what the person said when they tweeted it, though, saying, quote, Update. Sorry, Tegra for Nintendo has been dropped a few days or months ago. It was 5LPP, but unfortunately, the NVIDIA changed Atlanta to Thor. They seem to cancel the Tegra for Nintendo, but the new news for NVIDIA Tegra will be keep updating. Hold your notifications though. The article continues, quote, as one reply states, the T239 was completed in September 2022, and given that the information is public via VNetLinux.org, it's still likely that the Tegra 239 is the front runner for the console. The current Switch uses NVIDIA's Tegra X1, which was revealed back in 2015, 2 years before the Switch launches. If the same pattern follows, the chip will opt for likely already in the wild, or at least the info is. Notebook Check also ruminates that the Orin Nano 8GB as a potential choice for Nintendo, with forums discussing pointing towards it being a favorite price point and the 128-bit memory bus width. Another potential option could be the Orin NX1 6GB, a much more costly chip that promises a higher teraflop points operation per second rate that would put the console roughly in line with the PS4 performance, which is 1.84. There's also been speculations that the possibility that the next Switch could be as powerful as an Xbox Series S. Now, obviously, this is all speculation and rumors at this time, so there's nothing clearly indicating that this was the chip that they were probably using, though. I mean, it's possible Nintendo could be using this Tegra 239 chip, though, to power the Nintendo Switch, this next Switch, though. There's also been rumors that it will use DLSS technology, and also a lot of speculation at this time, to be exact, though. So obviously with this person backtracking, it sounds like either they got the information wrong, or maybe they heard or maybe they made a boo-boo or anything like that. So again, it is a rumor right now. Nothing has officially been confirmed at this time, though. I think it's possible we could hear information about the Switch successor in 2023, with the possibility of a reveal or being out in the market in 2024, but right now, it's still anyone's speculation, and this should be taken with an absolute grain of salt. As for what I mentioned before, there have been rumors speculating that the next Switch could be as powerful as an Xbox Series S. Now, granted, nothing has been confirmed at this time, and that's just speculation at this moment. That being said, though, I'm not opposed to the idea of the Switch successor being as powerful as an Xbox Series S. I certainly wouldn't be against that idea if that turns out to be true, but like anything, it's just a rumor at this time. We'll have to wait and see, though, when Nintendo eventually reveals what this next system is going to look like, though. I still think it's going to be the hybrid model. I find it very hard Nintendo's going to go back to having just a console and a handheld, though. So overall, I would say another Switch 2 rumor starting to come out, though. Again, we'll probably hear more about this throughout the year, though. I think there's a very good chance that Nintendo might talk about it in 2023, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And I wouldn't rule out the possibility that they could ultimately reveal it and put it out in the market maybe in 2024, but time will ultimately tell if that happens or not. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fourth and final part, and this one has to do with some interesting stories that have come out in regarding Redfall, from the engine it's using to the possibility of dropping the always online port, to even learning how the fact that there may have been a PS5 version in development back then and all. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final video of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're going to be talking about Redfall and some interesting information that has come out in regards to that game, though. Now, probably one of the next big releases from Microsoft is going to be on May. I believe it was either May 9th or May 2nd. I'm not sure pardon me if I get the wrong release date to be exact though, is basically the game Redfall. Originally was supposed to come out last year, it's been pushed back into this year. And now recently though, some information has come out, including ranging from the engine that the game is running on to basically a feature that I am actually pleased, if this is actually true, that they're going to change in the game though, to apparently the fact that a PS5 version at one point may have existed though. The first one has to do with from IGN, and it has to report that it seems as though Redfall is not running on the Unreal Engine 5 though, as it's now been confirmed that it will be actually running on Unreal Engine 4. In the article though, it says that quote though, as we inch closer to the release date of Aulx Studio's first-person shooter Redfall, it has been confirmed that it will not be using Unreal Engine 5. Harvey Smith said in a WCCF Tech interview that the game will be running on Unreal Engine 4. He noticed that while they were developing the game, halfway through the project, Epic came up with Unreal Engine 5, but the game is based on Unreal Engine 4.26. If we had more time, we would probably have gone with Unreal Engine 5, but it would have been a lot of work just upgrading to 4.26. It's worth mentioning that Arcane has said in the past that they wouldn't be using Unreal Engine 5. Over on the Reddit FAQ page, you will find question asked what game engine is Redfall utilizing, with the answer being Unreal Engine 4 though. Now, to me, this isn't as bothersome or anything like that. We've seen developers use different versions of Unreal before, and have shown some pretty good results with it though. So the game using Unreal Engine 4 isn't bothersome though. Maybe there might be a next-gen patch, and they might add Unreal Engine 5 support down the road. Who knows to be exact though, but I'm sure future Arcane games will basically use Unreal Engine 5 at some point, maybe down the road, assuming that's what the developers want to use though. The next story seems to be, and this is one that, if this is correct though, I'm actually very happy about, and that has to do with the fact that is the ability that they are going to do a U-turn on the single-player always online restriction. For those who may not be familiar with this though, one of the stories that came out when it was announced with Redfall was that it would require an always online connection even for a single-player experience though. This kind of got some people a bit upset about this, especially considering the always online part, particularly for those who want to play the game for a solo type of experience and all that stuff. Well, apparently it seems as though the developers have actually made supposedly a U-turn on this, and it sounds like they are going to work towards not having always online mode for those who want to play this on a single player type of experience though. In an article from Eurogamer, it reads that, quote, Redfall developers Arcane is working actively to remove the game's always online requirement when playing strictly in a single player mode. The vampire shooter's always online restriction raised eyebrow when it was spotted last month. Now speaking to Eurogamers, game director Harvey Smith has revealed that his team are now working to change how the game works to make offline single player possible though. As part of the lengthy video, they talked about how, which featured deep discussion of Redfall's politics. I asked Smith about his reaction to those who want to play fully offline in a world where most people's devices are typically connected to the internet. He said, quote, there are two ways developers could react to that, right? So it's, again, they could say, oh my God, you're always online. If you get on your Steam and it's not online, you're freaking out. If you get on your Xbox and you can't get the latest patch or see what your friends are doing, you're freaking out. You always want to be online. But that response, I think, lacks empathy though. There are people who live in places where their outage or their broadband is shitty, or they're compelling with their family members because their mom's streaming a movie on their or their brother on maybe or their brothers on another device. And so I think that's a legitimate critique, though. The other reason Smith continued wants to accept the reaction, find out if things can, at the later stage of development, be changed, though. So it's an interesting point, though. But assuming this is correct, though, I am happy to see the fact that the developers are considering or working towards trying to put a offline mode for those who want to do solo play. I think that's a very good thing, and that certainly is great for those who don't want to be always online and everything like that. I mean, hopefully they can pull it off, though, but this is definitely something I do like, though, to be exact, though. I think there's nothing wrong with having some online features and all, but if you want to enjoy the game offline, you should have a right to enjoy it offline indeed. And last but certainly not least, there seems to be a story coming out in terms of the fact that apparently there may have been, or at least a PS5 version of Redfall at one point, until apparently the plug was pulled on that one. In an article from GameSpot, it reads that, quote, it says that, quote, developer Arcane has committed on what change with the vampire game Redfall after Microsoft bought studio owner ZeniMax. Speaking to IGN France via IGN, director Harvey Smith said there was a huge sea of change for Redfall after Microsoft bought the company, and this included a decision to not bring the game to PS5. They said, no PS5, now we're going to do Game Pass, Xbox, and PC, Smith said. A spokesperson for Microsoft told GameSpot that the company has not pulled any games from PlayStation. Microsoft announced its intent to buy ZeniMax in September 2020 and completed the buyout in March 2021. Some are suggesting that Arcane was working on a PS5 edition of Redfall and canceled it after the buyout, but Smith did not say this outright. GameSpot has contacted Microsoft in an attempt to get more details on the situation. Development on Redfall began before the onset of COVID-19 prior to Microsoft buyout of ZeniMax, so it seemed possible that a PS5 edition of Redfall could have been in development, but that is not confirmed, though. It also mentioned that some are saying that this might look bad on Microsoft, and that might be true to some extent, but given the current situation we're hearing about, the CMA seem to be letting Microsoft go ahead with Activision Blizzard in terms of the buyout and all that stuff. I would say it's unlikely this will have a negative impact and all. As for the game itself, it's possible, and it does sound like this is possible, that a PS5 version of Redfall might have been in development at one point, though. But obviously, when Microsoft bought ZeniMax, though, that may have changed. Although, obviously, that didn't stop, Deathloop or Ghostwire Tokyo to go to basically the PS5. It most likely were contractually obligated to come to those systems, though, at the time before Microsoft purchased Bethesda and all. So, part of me is, would it be surprised if basically a PS5 version of Redfall exists, though? Am I somewhat disappointed, though? Maybe to a certain extent, though, but since they switched since Bethesda got purchased from Microsoft, though, it's not surprising that Microsoft would pull the plug on the the PS5 version and all that stuff. And obviously, they're still standing behind wherever Game Pass is available. You could play, Redfall and all that stuff. Obviously, referring to, unless PS5 has Game Pass or Switch has Game Pass, you know what? You gotta look at other devices to play, Game Pass, or have an Xbox console or PC and all. So, to me, I will admit it is kind of disappointing to see Redfall basically not coming to the PS5 and all, but it's not something to lose sleep over it. And I seriously doubt this will have any major impact on, Microsoft wrapping up purchasing Activision Blizzard or anything like that. I don't think it will have an impact, though. We'll see if it does, but I seriously doubt it will. So overall, some interesting stories about Redfall have come out, though. The fact that it's using Unreal Engine 4, the fact that they are thinking about or working on dropping the always online for solo or single player, something that I would applaud them if this is the direction they want to go, though. I'm hoping that is the case. And the fact that a PS5 version may have existed, though, I mean, that's possible during development, though. But the fact that it looks like they dropped it after being purchased by Microsoft and all, you know, again, I'm somewhat disappointed, but I'm not really absolutely losing sleep over this, and I'm not really surprised by this if the story did turn out to be true and all. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about some of these two of these racing games I talked about? Are you excited for Lego 2K Drive Racing, though? Do you think this is a spiritual successor to the N64 Lego Racer in any way? And what about the possibility of the rumors about a F-Zero GX probably making its way to the Nintendo Switch, or could be making its way to the Nintendo Switch? Do you think this rumor is true? Do you think we'll see F-Zero GX make its way to the Nintendo Switch? What are your thoughts about the future of the Bayonetta series, though? Do you think that we'll see more of it in a Devil May Cry style? Do you think Nintendo will continue to support the series, though? Do you think we'll see more of it in the style of what Bayonetta Origins is, or maybe a different take on the Bayonetta series in general? What do you think about this latest rumor about the Nintendo Switch? Do you think this is just another day, another rumor about a Nintendo Switch? Do you think that they are onto something about this rumor? Do you think it's possible the Switch could be powered by this so-called Tegra or T239, as some people are making the claim that it is? And what are your thoughts about some of the information about Redfall, though? Are you surprised to see it not running on Unreal Engine 5, or are you not surprised at all? Are you pleased to hear that for solo and possibly single play that they're working on eliminating the always online connection? Do you think that's a smart move on their part? And what about basically hearing the fact that the PS5 version of Redfall may have existed or anything like that? Do you think it's a big deal, as some people are making it sound like it is? Do you think it's not as big deal at all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I will appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, wish you all a good day then. Bye!